Hello and welcome to Your County. I'm Lynn Turner Fitzgerald. My guest today is Marci Schaefer. She is the brand new Yellowstone County Treasurer, Assessor, and Superintendent of Schools. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And congratulations on
you.
now 3 hats. You have a 3-hat job.
Yes.
And the county has really always done that. Is there an explanation?
Well, it was done probably about 9 years ago or 10.
Oh,
that
that's when they did it.
incorporated
Okay.
the county superintendent of schools in with that treasurer's position.
Right.
Don't know the reasoning.
Okay.
Just
It
something
just
the
seems a little
commissioners
random.
decided to do.
Okay. So in your workday, primarily it's the treasurer's office that you spend your time on, or is it equally divided between all 3?
It's pretty much divided. Right
It
now, I
is.
suppose it's more treasurer side because we're ramping up for tax bills. So, so working on finalizing those to get those to print.
Okay. So explain that process to me.
So the process for getting our tax bills ready is we receive a download for the Department of Revenue that, because they are the keeper of all the values, they assess property for the market and taxable valuation, and then we get that information from them, put it into our system, and then we get the mills from all the taxing jurisdictions, and we enter that information, and there comes your general taxes are calculated using those 2 figures. Also, there's special districts that we add in as well. That would be like your fire, the city charges, those kind of things. Those are kind of separate from the general tax. So those are additional line items on your tax bill.
Okay. So now coming up, there's property tax adjustments in our future. And that's coming from the state. That's not any of your doing. But how will that impact your office?
Property tax adjustments as in?
Well, the increases. Now.
That does impact our office.
Okay.
So the valuation did increase this year. It went up quite a amount. I think it average was 32%.
Right.
And but when that happens, the values go up. Usually the mill levies will float down. They did float down a little bit, but still your taxable value is higher. So unfortunately, the taxes will increase. So I did take a look at a couple today on the general tax portion, like for School District 2, the larger school district, and I seen increases anywhere from 15 to 30%.
Right.
On the general tax portion. The outlying areas are around 10 to 20%.
And some people are seeing increases above that 30% mark too.
A few, probably.
But not many.
But yeah, there might be a few, maybe 36%. But
Now, when does that actually take effect? When will we actually see that?
in your November tax bill.
Okay, right
So
around
it's
the
coming
corner.
up. Yes.
Well, now, prior to the interview, you said that you had spent some time with the Department of Revenue.
Yes.
So this is really familiar territory for you.
It is, yes.
Were you in
It is.
Helena for that?
No, here in Billings, at the field office in Billings. I
Oh.
was the area manager for it's called the Property Valuation Specialist staff. We were the clerical staff,
Okay.
getting all the stuff put together for the appraisers to go out and actually assess property.
So does your office change in terms of the number of people that work there depending on tax season, or is it the same all year long?
For the treasurer's office?
Yes, for
No,
treasurers.
it stays the same. We have 6 employees just on the treasurer's side. And then I have 19 employees on the motor vehicle side, because we are in charge of motor vehicle as well. And then 1 in the superintendent of schools job position.
Well, how about the assessor? Is that just solo?
The assessor is just kind of a title right now. I can retain that title. I do have the credentials past the assessment.
Well, what is that job? I really know nothing about the assessor.
It's the assessment is we can assess property, like it mainly comes into effect for like mobile homes. If you have to get a bonded title where the mobile home is titled, but nobody has the title on it, they have to go through what's called a bonded title process, and it has to be assessed. And we do put that down, the market value of that, which we confirm with Department of Revenue. So
Okay.
basically that's the extent of that job.
And it sounds like that's not an everyday.
Not the assessor portion, no.
Right,
No, the treasurer portion, the motor vehicle, and the county superintendent of schools is.
right. So motor vehicle, real ID? Are you folks real ID?
No, we're
What am I
vehicle
thinking?
registration.
Oh, that's okay.
Title and
okay.
registration, yes.
Okay,
Vehicle, real ID is handled by the state.
okay.
Yep.
So let's move over to the superintendent of schools position.
Mm-hmm.
How many county schools are there?
68,
Really?
yes. All of them have superintendents, which is great, except one, and that is a small school district called Warren.
Okay.
So mostly the superintendents handle all of their day-to-day processes and those kind of things. We are just like kind of record keeping for them with teacher certificates, bus driver certificates, homeschool registrations, those kind of items. Also help out with budgeting. The treasurer's side helps out with, their warrants, the checks that they write, and those kind of things, and money that they get from the state.
I had no idea there were that many
Yes,
schools in Yellowstone County.
there is. Yeah, if you counting the elementary and then the high school separately, yes.
Right.
Yep.
Are they all funded per their area?
Yes.
How are they funded?
So it's based on the levies. So
Oh.
you hear about a levy district. So it's each school district basically has a levy district. So that's how they are funded, through those levy districts.
Okay. Do you see any consolidation? Would that make sense?
I think there was some legislation that went through for consolidation, but it was vetoed by the governor, saying it would be too hard on the districts. But I don't know if he had all that information. I'm not sure. I honestly probably think might be not a bad idea
Well, I
to
think it would
consolidate those
yeah.
smaller ones. But I think he was thinking of the point of if they consolidate them, then they'd have to build high school. That'd be a big burden.
Why would that be?
I don't know. That's why I say I don't know what information he received. But that would be a big burden on the taxpayers. But I still think they could probably be a feeder school into the local high schools we have here.
So the Lockwood schools,
Mm-hmm.
are those under your jurisdiction?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have their own superintendent,
Right.
of course, but yes, they're in Yellowstone County, so we handle all of the all the schools within Yellowstone County. So yes,
Well, do you have issues that arise that need to be addressed?
not really. The one issue that will probably be coming up this spring is we have a school out in Molt that has not had students. This will be the third year, so it will be officially considered abandoned. So then we will have to look at that boundary, see if we need to incorporate it all into one school district or split that boundary up into different school districts. So we will have to be in close contact with those superintendents of those schools that surround that and see, where that's going to lay.
So
And that'll
the
probably
school-
happen this spring.
The school has had no students for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody in the school?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Is that the maximum then to make it an abandoned school?
Correct, 3 years.
3 years.
Once it's hit that 3-year mark, then they permanently close that school.
Well, why would it be consolidated into another district? Why don't they just eliminate it?
Well, they would, but we got to do something with those students. So do we put all those students into
Where
one?
were they the last 3 years?
Mainly, there's very few. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
right.
So mainly they were going to Broadview,
Okay, sure.
but in
Much
looking
bigger.
at the area though, there's a small subdivision that might have to get pulled over to Elder Grove.
Because I thought that there were some young families living in the Molt area.
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think there's only like 3 children, maybe,
Oh.
if that.
Okay.
3 students. So
Yeah. So that's kind of a challenge then.
Yep.
So in terms of the funding for these schools, you said you're somewhat involved with budgeting?
they set their own budgets, but we get that budget information from them, from each of the school districts, and report that. That's reported to OPI. So we do go in and look at that. If they have issues, we can be involved, but other than that, if they have their own superintendent, we're not involved.
And that's an annual or semi-annual?
no,
It's just
annual.
one annual thing? Okay.
Yep.
Starting at the beginning of the school year?
In August.
Oh, okay.
So Department of Revenue puts out what's called certification of values. So they take the values from all of Yellowstone County, compile it into a report for each levy district, and then that gets sent out to those taxing jurisdictions, and they set their budget based on those property values, how many mills it's going to take to fulfill their budget.
Okay. So let's go back to the treasurer's office. Besides the tax, and these are all property taxes that you deal with? Strictly property tax?
Yep.
Okay.
For real property, mobile home, and personal property, and then what we call centrally assessed property.
And what would that be?
Centrally assessed is, think of a railroad. So they have a rail line that goes continuous through different counties. So that's centrally assessed because it continues through multiple counties.
Okay.
So they kind of get a value and they allocate it to each county.
Each county that the railroad goes through is kind of
Yes.
like a public right-of-way
Kind of, yeah.
situation. Okay, and so you're only taxing them for Yellowstone County.
Correct.
And then down the line, they must get a lot of mail.
Yeah.
All right, and on the automobile side, any changes going there? Any changes in terms of registering your car?
Well, some exciting news is they're coming out with a new system, which is, we're hoping will cut the wait time in half.
Oh, wow.
So it's still in the infant stage. They're still doing testing, but they're hoping to go live early in 2026.
Okay.
They're starting with driver's license first, kind of as a test to see how it's going to work, and then they're going to go into registration, because actually the motor vehicle portion is we're county employees working on a state system.
Okay. Now go back to the driver's license thing. Will that also be on this new system?
Correct.
You can apply for a driver's license online?
That I don't know, because driver's license is
Yeah,
state.
that's not
so
your jurisdiction.
No.
Seems to me when I got my license renewed, they were talking about that.
Yep.
And I thought, how does that even work?
I'm not sure. I'll be finding out probably next spring when I have to renew mine.
I guess we will find out next spring. Okay. Well, so your office is going to stay about the same size, do you think? Do you
Yes.
anticipate having to add?
No.
Because it seems like you do a lot of work.
So we do motor vehicle, and we have 3 locations for motor vehicle. We have the main courthouse, and then we have a satellite office in Laurel, and that we have 2 employees there, and that is open from 9 to 4:30, and they are closed between 12 and 1
Okay.
because they share a room with a court office, and so that court office wants to be closed at noon to 1. So,
Oh, okay.
so they have to close down. Metro Park, we have an office in the lobby of Metro Park.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and
When did that happen?
that happened probably a year ago.
Yeah, because it's pretty new.
Yeah. Yep, it is. And right now they are closed from 11 till noon, but starting October 1, I asked them to be open during the lunch hour, so they will be open continuous from 6:30 till 3.
Okay.
6:30 in the morning till 3 to
Yeah.
accommodate. Right now they're going through some construction work, so
That's
the parking is a little difficult, but it's on the west side of the building.
Oh, okay.
And then they can they'll have to either go up the ramp or climb up the stairs and get to the office that way.
Has that been pretty successful, having those little satellite offices?
Yes, it has been. It's been nice because they do everything the same. I mean, they'll do your title work and your renewals. They're limited on the Metra on plates, so they if you want the specialty plate, they don't have those there because they don't have the space to put them.
Yeah, right.
So
But if you're just getting your tags.
Yep, just a renewal, it's great, but they will do title work. If you want your title work sent to the Metro or to Laurel, just give our office a call. Metro, we can get it usually the next day. Laurel, we usually mail it, so it takes 1 to 2 days.
Well, now, as an individual, as a private citizen, if I sell my vehicle to another private citizen, what am I required to do?
First thing you do is take your plates off. The
Yes.
plates belong to you, not the vehicle, and people get confused on that. And that forces that person to come in and either do a temporary 40-day sticker or get license plates.
Okay.
So the first thing you would do is take your title, get it notarized, assign it to whoever the new purchaser is, and as a seller, I would photocopy that and have that for your record to show that you actually sold that vehicle.
Right.
And then either you can give that title to them, tell them they can go to the courthouse and get, or one of the satellite offices and get a temporary 40-day sticker, or go ahead and do their plates, depending on maybe they don't live in this county, so they can just go purchase a
But it's
temporary
on
sticker.
them to go get the paperwork that they put in the license plate
It
thing,
is.
so it's a temporary thing.
It is. It
You as
should
the
be.
seller don't have to do that.
You don't. If you feel uncomfortable about doing that, you can walk with them down to one of the offices and make sure that they get a temporary sticker, because once they get that temporary, that shows that there's a transfer in process.
Okay, well now here's the question, what if they don't? I mean, the VIN number still is
That's why you-
connected to your name, isn't it?
That's why you keep the copy of that notarized title that you sold it,
Gotcha.
and with the name and address of the people that you sold it to,
Okay,
and take your plates off.
take your plates off,
That's
first thing.
that's the big thing.
Get the plates out of there. Okay, so other than that then, it's a done deal. It's up to them then to move the ball forward, get registered
Yep.
in their name and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Is there anything you can do as an individual to make sure that that all happens besides walking with them?
Not
That's it?
really.
You just really have to witness it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, like I said, if you feel unsure, go with them down to the courthouse to get a temporary sticker or something.
Right. So on the plates, you know, we have a lot of specialty vanity plates or whatever, and these are fundraisers, right, for
Correct.
various organizations?
Yes.
How many different
Oh
ones?
gosh, I don't even know anymore.
There's a lot.
There is a lot.
Do you know what the process is? Do you have to be a 501c3, for instance?
Yes, I do
Okay.
believe you do. It's an application through the Department of Justice,
Okay.
and then they approve it and approve your plate style before it can even be submitted. I think they have to show where they'll sell a certain amount, so it becomes, you know, justifiable for them to
print the
print those
plate.
plates.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, well, I know it's been successful for a lot of organizations as just a secondary source of income for them.
Yep, it
Yeah.
is, because it's a monthly or a yearly renewal too,
Right.
a donation basically.
And
Yep.
is there a limit on the donation?
It's a set fee, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
a set fee.
Well, that's a nice way, though, to donate and
Yeah.
show support for the organization
Correct.
that you like.
Yeah,
Right?
it's good, yep.
Okay. Have we missed anything? I bet we've missed a lot.
We probably have. I don't know if I wanted to just say a few things. You had asked about it earlier, that property tax rebate.
Yes.
The deadline is October 1.
No.
Actually, it'll be October 2nd because the first falls on Sunday.
Right.
So make sure that people do their applications online and get those done. They'll need two things. They'll need a geocode and the taxes paid for 2022.
The geocode can be found on your website.
Correct. So you just go to our website, go to Yellowstone County, and then find the treasurer, and then you can look for property tax search.
Mm-hmm.
Put your address in there, and it'll be on that first summary page.
Right.
Will be the geocode and also the 2022 taxes.
Right. Yeah. The geocode was really a challenge for a lot of people.
It was, and next year, because there will be a rebate for next year as well. So the 2023 tax bill will have the geocode on it.
That's nice of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
I just wrote
a
it
good
down.
idea.
I hope I don't lose it, but yeah.
It'll be on next year's tax bill, so or
Okay.
the one that you're going to be getting for November.
Well, so since taking over this position, it hasn't even been, what, 2 months?
Yep.
Were there any surprises for you?
No, the staff has been really great. All the departments have been really great to work with. I was appointed to the position since the treasurer had retired.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was appointed to the position. So I will be in that position until December of '24, and then I'll probably probably March or sometime, I'll seek re-election.
It is an elected office.
It is elected. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But because the treasurer left in term, I have to,
Sure.
had to be appointed.
Yeah.
Yep, they had to
Okay.
appoint somebody. So, yep,
Well, good luck. It sounds like you really have your hands full.
I do, but it's fun.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I want to thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for joining us on Your County. We'll see you next time.